Now, we've tackled workers' compensation quite a bit in our Know Your Rights segments, and today Catherine Stone from Barbas Law is back to help explain your choices for medical care if you are injured on the job, which because of you I've learned is so important, and people have to do it by the book.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
First off, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good.
Always a pleasure to be here. You know, this is again another one that I'm going to tell a little story about, you know, my everyday occurrences at the office.
Because it's so important.
It's so important. And, you know, I recently had a client that came in and was almost killed in the accident, but thankfully she wasn't. But her first question was, and it was a relatively new accident, everything up to that point had timely been authorized, and her whole question was, why do I need a lawyer at this point? And I said, very good question. I said, you technically don't need a lawyer at this point, but do you know that they have X number of days to respond to a request or referral for medical care? No, I didn't know that. Do you know that you can't just go out and get your own doctor? And I told her a story about another client who just couldn't wait for workers' comp to authorize a doctor, because it is a bit of a process.
Yeah.
So she kept going to her primary care physician or using her health insurance, and it created this huge issue to where the point I had to get involved. And so I was explaining this to this young lady, and I said, you are absolutely correct. Bless you.
Thank you.
So she went ahead and signed up, and within a week, something wasn't getting authorized correctly. And the doctor hadn't been authorized for all the multiple different body parts. And she wouldn't have known that, possibly, and she would have gone to the appointment. Not everything would have been authorized correctly. It was a simple mistake, but we caught it early on. And so before she goes to her appointment, we're able to catch that. And those are kinds of things that people don't necessarily catch or know to look for. They just think they're going to the doctor's going to fix everything about them. Well, it ended up that particular doctor that was authorized wasn't going to treat all of the different body parts that were injured. So we ended up getting her a second doctor. In addition to the first one. So it's things like that, knowing the system, knowing the rules, watching, you know, all the authorization letters and reading them thoroughly. Those are very, very important. And, you know, clients have the hardest time in workers' compensation understanding that they're not in control of their own medical care, that an insurance company adjuster is in control of their medical. And that's really the hardest thing. So what we try to do is be as compassionate as possible and explain the system so that they understand why it is the way that it is, and also explain that's why you need to communicate with us as soon as you get a referral or as soon as you something happens, because then we're there every step of the way.
Because like you said, you can start going down a path seeking medical treatment, and then before you know it, so much has been backlogged, if you will, and you've got a whole mess on your hands.
Right.
Which again, Catherine, thank you for talking about this. We always appreciate it. If you have any questions about workers' comp or anything else in the legal world, well, be sure to give them a call, 1-800-BARBAS-LAW, or go to barbaslaw.com/knowyourrights.